If you would introduce yourself and tell us your film.
Sure. Hi, my name is Jessica Richmond. I was part of the Writer's Block team. Very glad to be here. I'm from Los Angeles. Our other filmmaker had to catch his flight, unfortunately, for an event tomorrow. So he had to rush out.
Oh, no.
But I am here. And it sounds like we may have had a little bit of an export issue. That wasn't our final sound, but we're very grateful to share the visuals.
Okay. Seemed pretty okay.
All right, cool, yeah, great.
It was pretty awesome, actually.
It was really neat to go in companion with the film that followed. You know, the boxes in our life really have an influence.
Always careful with the box labeled Pandora. If you know your classics. All right, so what inspired you? We usually have like an icebreaker question like that.
Sure. I think we're all blown over by AI's presence, but the idea of like a meditation on a human's relationship with AI. We've seen some of that, the loving relationships of her, the sexual relationships of Pandora, but some kind of intelligence that is not human playing a part in our lives and what that brings out in us. We were sort of also inspired by Salieri and Amadeus and the idea of how much ego goes into the final authorship of being known. And if a human actually cares about being known versus doing up the work, where does that leave our artistry? Was part of the conversations that led to this art film.
Great. That's absolutely great. All right, some questions. Audience questions.
Yeah, you have this lovely quote of Frankenstein in the end in the credits. Can you just relate something to it? Or I just thought it's a nice touch that you called it Victor, I guess, which is a direct reference to Frankenstein, right?
Yes, yeah, and the main character, the author, is Mary.
And the funny thing, I screened a movie yesterday, and I also had this character, and his name was also Victor in it. So I just wanted to tell you that I love this reference to Frankenstein. Yeah.
No, cheers. Yeah, the things that we create and the power that they have was certainly. We have Victor, we have Mary, we have the power of creation in this film. I think the monster of the singularity being bigger than we can even fathom, like once it's happened, was sort of where we got to at the end blue screen. Yeah. That was our monster taking over.
Yeah.
Nice. Another question, please.
How'd you decide on the box being the vessel for the AI thing?
You know, well, it's so cheesy. It's a writer's block, you know what I mean? But we did take time this time, as far as production goes, to build an actual animatronic that was haptic to lines being read, versus a very first version of the film actually included a block with like a green line.
Okay.
Very good. All right, another question. Yes, sir?
Do you think the notion of a block is starting to become a parable within us? Because you have Hellraiser's block, you have the Tesseract in the Avengers, you have your block, there's a block in the next film that was right after yours. Do you think somewhere in our brains we see this little box taking over? And then of course we all have our block that we carry with
Yeah, our
us.
black mirrors, yeah. Yeah, it's sort of like the void. It sort of represents just like a space of nothing else but what it is. Being so poignant. I don't know. Is the block part of our current lore? We stare at the square. I think we could use more circles in our life.
Or maybe a monolith.
Some change.
All right, thank you. Yes, please.
So obviously sci-fi, but really close to kind of present day in the sense that we have all these AI tools and discussions with them. Was there any AI use in the making of the film?
Thank you so much for asking. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, we're not for the use of AI. It's here. We understand that it's used in surveillance systems. We understand it's here. Not trying to deny its existence, but not trying to use it.
However, the creator is a live human being. Any more? Yes, in the back.
At the end, was it like possible that the water would have destroyed it if it didn't land on the rocks, or was that kind of just up to interpretation?
Thank you so much for the specific question. Yeah, I guess the idea is that it's, again, in our final audio, there's some sizzle out. The block was demolished, but Victor lives on. The idea that it's too late. The singularity has been reached because Victor's already embedded, imbued, integrated with the human he was associated with. And to answer your question about the quote at the end, there's nothing so terrifying as a quick change. So this ingression of artificial intelligence has been going slowly, I would say, is the main takeaway of that. The block is gone, but Victor's here. Yeah.
Okay, lady in front.
I'm work in mental health, and I see like an increasing frequency of folks coming in using AI as a therapy tool. And this is more of a statement, but it was really interesting to see AI be used as both. It seemed like it was also a companion. You know, the character is all alone. There's no one else in their life. I just thought that was.
I don't know if you've seen, there's a documentary for free on YouTube about a guy who went with ChatGPT and was like, I want you to, I think I'm gonna give you some ideas, and like, whatever it tells me to do, I'll do, and he ended up living in a trailer alone with tinfoil. Yes! Yeah, I think it's a dangerous, like a yes man companion. And I know people who are using it to make life decisions, like where to move. And I think it's fascinating, and I've lost friends to AI.
But in art history, how do you see, like, if we use it for creating films, for writing films, how do you see that evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I don't pretend to be an expert. I've had a lot of combos because of this film over the past 10 years since its inception. But I think we used to have meetings with someone to brainstorm and think of ideas and then go from there with our own genius. But now people, instead of going to another human, are going to AI.
Yeah.
So I think the echo loop of the kind of work that's going to come out is going to be clear. It's just like an email written with AI, you can tell, right? Has you ever received an email that was written with AI? I think we're going to see that in films.
But why do you think that is it because it's easier just to talk not to a human but to an artificial person who doesn't show emotions or stuff like that? Or how do you see that? Why do people do it? Or artists do it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the ego is a interesting participant in the artistic process, and so with AI, there's less chance of someone feeling dominated by someone else's genius, and I think it's that sad.
Yeah.
I think it's that sad.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So I was just curious, from a production standpoint, was Victor's personality sort of always intended to be the way it wound up, or did you go through iterations like with doing the voiceover afterwards? Did it change as you worked on the film, or did it wind up exactly the way you intended?
Heard, yeah. In 2017, we made a student film version of this. That was almost 10 years ago. Jasper, who does the voiceover of Victor, was the voiceover artist then. He's a wonderful British, calm human who did great work. But we never had Victor have a different mentality, personality. Yeah, he was always the calm, coherent leader that he is.
Makes me think of Hal.
Yes, yes.
Very calm, and the British actor voiced that.
Exactly,
as well.
yeah. But no modulation, that is the human voice. Yeah.
Very even and reassuring. Or scary, or terrifying.
Dangerously reassuring, yeah.
Yes, I like that. Yes.
I like that the film was sort of the personification of one of my favorite comments about the current technology, which was an artist saying, I thought of technology as freeing me, not AI writing for me so I can wash more dishes.
Right. What are we asking for? What are we delegating? What are we delegating out? Our way of thinking, our critical thinking skills, our ability to talk to another human. Instead, we're delegating that out to the AI.
As it is, cursive writing has become a rarity nowadays.
Yeah, the handwriting.
The handwriting, yes.
How about reading? Who in here is currently reading a book? Okay. Thanks for the honesty. About half? Yeah? Reading or writing?
Reading. Actually, I think I've got about 3 books in process.
Oh, good. Lead the way. Keep that skill.
All right. Anyone else?
Just kind of a comment, I guess, commentary, but just hearing you talking about why people use ChatGPT, et cetera, I think the answer, part of it is that we like being lazy. No, this might be easier, but so much of what you just mentioned in the last 60 seconds or so makes me think of, I get messages from somebody who was a candidate for the Screen Actors Guild president, and he and his running mate, they're still working on the AI issue and how it is taking away jobs from writers, TV production people, film production people, and of course voiceover folks as well, which is scary because I do some voiceover now and then, and it's already hard enough to get work.
Well, in the commercial work, which is a lot of where artists in LA, where I'm from, are getting the money to do the art, the commercials are now being completely produced by AI. Every aspect of it. That's a whole industry of people out of earnings. Not that commercials are art, but it's a
where
shift.
you made the money.
Yeah. Has anyone here used AI? I'm curious. Do you use ChatGPT?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I on an almost daily basis, I have to say. Yeah.
Do you also find yourself talking ideas out with other humans?
Excuse me?
Do you also find yourself calling a friend to be like, hey, can I talk to you about this idea?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you follow your way, the way you're doing it.
To be very honest, yeah. And as you just said with the AI aspects of commercials, it just reminds me, I'm from Austria, and there was a Coca-Cola commercial, which was completely just an AI commercial now. I don't know if this was run here also, but it was just a whole AI commercial, and it's on TV, yeah.
AI brings up the same thing that happened when the machine gun was invented, which is just because we can, ought we? It's amazing what we can do, but should we be focused on artificial intelligence? No.
I like natural intelligence.
Human intelligence?
Human intelligence.
Another aspect, because this is such an interesting topic, I have a very good friend of mine. I started filmmaking with him 20 years ago. And he never got into the business because he had really some issues being on set, and he wasn't able to direct on set. And now he's thinking about being a director again 10 years after, and to do it with AI because he can do it at his computer. So he had difficulties being social on set, and now he's doing his movie ideas he had 10 to 20 years ago, starting with AI.
And I guess that it comes down to whether or not movies are a medium that are meant for humans or not, because that's possible, but ought we? And an individual who might not be able to lead a set, maybe they're meant to let their medium come through the written work and let it be a read story, as opposed to having to communicate their story to everyone on set to make sure they understand. Maybe that is the craft, but I'm not saying I know everything. That would be crazy. So I just think we should take it with a grain of salt to use AI. We know that it's also using how much water it is in the data centers.
It depends on if we're using AI or is AI using us.
Ooh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm just curious if there was some intentionality around how lonely it can be to be a writer too, or how isolating it can feel, even though it's part of a bigger.
Yeah. That's why there's a feature that's based on this that Christian wrote that is about Mary Allen after the book's success and the further isolation that she goes into, being the only one who knows what she knows.
And the grief of losing, because there was that relationship built there too, that her was very much like her, which is interesting. Yeah.
Which I will just say on a personal note, I was going through a divorce during this, and I will say just in general, how much time you can spend with someone and then it change. That's a very human experience, whether or not the relationship is a block or not. The idea of that change being hard is also what the film's about.
So there will be a feature, or are you already working on it?
Again, I was honored. So my company is Genius Pills Media. I work independently and founded it in 2022. When I did, I was like, I need a project to show the world that we're doing this. And I went to Christian, who had made a student film with me in it back in 2017. I said, let's update that. ChatGPT is now out. Let's make it happen. He is a creative genius, has many scripts, including a feature called On the Nature of Being, which is a really fun read. I've read it. Anyone who's interested can reach out. I'll make you get in touch with Christian.
Nice,
yeah.
Very good.
Genius what?
Genius Pills Media at Genius Pills. Prescription strength entertainment for a sick society.
And God knows we need it. All right. Thank you very much, Jessica.
Of course,
for
thank you
coming
so
to
much
see
for the
us.
conversation.
And definitely. And I hope you enjoy some more of the festival.